What is happening, guys? Man, I can't, bro. What is happening, guys? Hope everyone is doing well. In today's video, we are going to be going over the full price breakdown on my 2007 Subaru STi. If you didn't catch my last video, which I'll have linked in the description below, definitely go make sure you check it out. I basically went over everything, full update as far as what ultimately happened to the car and why I ended up having to get my engine pulled, a bit about what my future plans are, which I will show you guys here right away. I'm gonna pull up my screen. I did my best as far as breaking everything down when it comes to either the parts or the labor, just so we can get like a clear idea of what things cost and how everything adds up. The shop did provide me with a quote to just fix my car, so just doing what I just considered a simple repair. That quote, I think in the last video I mentioned that it costs about $7,000 to $8,000 to just fix the problem. When I dove back into my emails and looked over the quotes, I did realize that it was about $6,500 before tax, and then after tax you were looking just about $7,000. And just keep in mind as well, all the prices you see in front of you are in Canadian, so before you start wondering why are these things looking so expensive, they're not in USD, they're all in Canadian. $7,000 to do the repair, and as I discussed, what that involved was obviously pulling the engine, removing everything from the engine, separating the heads, getting those sent off to the machine shop to be resurfaced, assuming obviously the engine health and the heads were all in good condition. And then once that's complete, obviously sending them back to the shop. So if I go up to the top of the list, focusing on all the black text, obviously we were planning to do new head studs and new head gasket. I actually pulled them up here as well. I guess I'm giving Subi Supply Co. a little bit of a shout out here in this video today. I was gonna say I have no sponsors for this project. This is all coming out of my own wallet. You know, there's no hookups here, so I will be planning to spend quite a bit of money here in the near future. Subi Supply Co. definitely seemed to be a decent supplier when it comes to a lot of these parts that I'm looking for on my build. You know, if Subi Supply Co., if you wanted to reach out, I'd definitely be happy to chat, that is for sure. You can see ARP head studs, and that's these guys right here, just under 500 bucks, and then the Tomei head gaskets. This is what my shop recommended going with instead of the OEM. I think they were slightly thicker. At this rate, you might as well replace everything while the engine's out. So full timing belt kit with all the bearings, hydraulic tensioners, the water pump. That one I actually wasn't quite sure, to be honest. I was kind of browsing my options. I'm still not sure what brand I would go with. I don't know if I would, I read a lot of things about sticking with OEM versus going a different aftermarket brand. I was gonna chat with my shop as well. If anyone watching this, you know, if you have any recommendations, definitely shoot me a message in the comments below. I definitely appreciate any feedback. So yeah, full timing belt kit, and then all like seals, so valve cover gaskets, spark plug tube seals, water pipe O-rings, rubber hoses, all the parts that you might as well just replace. If I click on the total here for the simple repair, you can kind of see what is involved. So these are all the parts that they obviously quoted me at to repair my, and then if we go down, you'll see the highlighted labor that is associated with that. So obviously this was the test when I originally brought them my car. They did like a compression test and a leak down test, and that's when they found the coolant leak and all that. So the work at the machine shop, so when they send the heads off to the machine shop, that's when they'll do the resurfacing on the cylinder heads. And that they quoted me at $560 for those. Obviously just the labor to pull the engine and put the engine back in as well. When they get the heads back, obviously the head gasket replacement, and then putting everything back together and putting the timing belt on. That you can see is a big labor charge, which obviously makes sense. And then yeah, little things, coolant flush, new engine oil. And then that's how we get to the grand total of $7,000 after tax. And so like I said in the last video, that's what I was quoted, and that's what I would have spent just to fix my car. So, you know, it's a lot of money, right? It's an expensive fix. Because I am in the position where I'm still running the original motor, and I've always had bigger power goals down the line, I would feel really stupid to just have my original short block just sitting there, you know, and not to replace it. So What I was getting at in the last video, and obviously what my plans are here moving forward with the car, is if we go over into our other tab on Subi Supply Co., you will see we have the IAG 750 EJ25 Subaru closed deck short block. Now, it's a lot of money, but there's a reason why I want to go with it. I was briefly looking at the IAG 550 block, and that's their open deck block. And this is the thing that's tough, especially when you're doing something like this. It's easy to kind of get sucked down the rabbit hole of like, you know, chasing every little thing, you know, or feeling like, oh, what's another $500 or $1,000? You know, the engine's out, I'm spending so much money, you know, I might as well put the best of the best for everything back into the car. There's kind of a balancing act there, right? Where, so if I scroll way down, I think, yeah. This is the IAG 550, and you can see that it has the open deck block, so you can see all the openings around the surface of the deck here. And then if we go back, you can see how now it's all closed off there. And so the jump, obviously, to go from $5,500 up to $7,500 or $7,600, it's a $2,000 jump, which is a lot of money, but again, we're at that position where it's like, well, where do we draw the line? And I think that this is definitely safe to say that I would rather spend the money here and upgrade to a closed deck short block, even if I have to spend an extra couple grand doing so. I ultimately want to be in a position where the build is, if anything, slightly overkill. I want something that's going to be stronger than what I need, and I think this is the perfect solution for that. Upgraded IAG pistons, IAG connecting rods, 2017 STi crankshaft, and then standard Subaru case bolts. Options, oil pump. I am planning to get I believe the 12 mil JDM oil pump. I'm not going to get the IAG one. The oil pickup and oil baffle. I am looking at the Killer Bee option instead. But yeah, and then ultimately this block is rated up to a power rating of 700 brake horsepower. And that's one of the big reasons why I want to go with this particular one. It's not that I'm ever going to be chasing that high of a number in this car. It's just that, hey, you know, one day if I want to chase 500 brake horsepower, hopefully what I have in the car should be completely set to handle it. So that's kind of my rationale for spending a little bit of extra money. As I mentioned again in the last video, there were certain parts that I hadn't upgraded on the car yet. I never upgraded the oil pickup, and so I figure what better time, putting in a brand new engine, might as well upgrade. So I'm thinking to go with the Killer Bee oil pan, pickup, and baffle, which that on its own is $1,000. The new clutch, I am still, or actually I can even show you the Killer Bee stuff. It's right here. The clutch, I'm still looking. That's something else that I was going to chat with the shop about, and as well, if anyone out there has any good recommendations. I'm not jumping into power modifications anytime soon here. I'm kind of first focusing on the engine build itself, and then once I kind of get that settled, then I'm gonna kind of turn my attention and maybe focus more on the power stuff. That being said, I mean, now is the best time to obviously upgrade the clutch. But yes, that I'm definitely open to hearing suggestions. If we look, you can kind of see that this is the one that I have circled off because this is really the path that I'm going. And now I'm not exactly sure with this, but I know the labor is going to go up when it comes to the headwork, pairing my OEM heads with the IAG short block. So I'm not exactly sure how much more it's going to cost. This is just a pure guess. So I did just say add $500 more, which is why I've added that in there. Obviously, you're still pulling the engine, putting it back in, replacing the head gaskets and timing belts, coolant, oil, and that's what brings us to a grand total of $16,666 and $17,500 after tax. So a lot of money. It is what it is, I guess. All these prices I think are fairly accurate as long as I'm obviously not adding a bunch of parts to my shopping list, which, by the way, if there are any things that I have not mentioned, I would definitely love to hear it. So if you're watching this video and you think, hey man, like I would definitely recommend replacing this part while your engine's out, please let me know. Depending on what they are, I'll definitely look into it. And obviously, if I continue adding more parts to this list, these numbers will continue to change. But the only other thing that could really affect the pricing, I would say, really comes down to the headwork. So if for whatever reason my heads were not even usable, well, that would really change things. But assuming that my heads are healthy and usable after being at the machine shop, valves, the valve springs, the retainers, so as long as everything is in good condition, obviously the prices should remain pretty much unchanged. Now, on the other side of things, I wanted to go ahead and show you, well, what would happen if we ended up taking things one step further. So, I did this because I was curious myself, but you can come here and look at the price and think, man, you're going to spend almost 18 grand and you're still going to have the stock heads. You're not going to upgrade those. Why wouldn't you just look at potentially upgrading the long block? Well, if we did that, the IAG 750 long block comes in at $18,000 Canadian. Now, you might be thinking, well, you're spending pretty much the exact same and all you're doing is upgrading the short block. Yeah, sure, we don't need head studs, we don't need head gaskets. There's certain parts that we will not need. We don't need to get head work done. So yeah, we will save some money, but at the end of the day, you still need a full timing belt kit. You're still going to want to upgrade the other parts in your car, whether that's the oil pickup, the clutch, and whatever else that I can think of. You know, you still have to pay for all the labor of pulling the engine and putting the engine back in. When you really add things up, now all of a sudden you're spending just about $25,000 or over $25,000. As much as I would love to just upgrade the whole thing and go full long block, it's like, at the end of the day, it's just not in the budget. And as much as I know that would be the potentially the safest and most reliable build I could have moving forward, I do feel like from everything that I've read, assuming that the engine is well built, whatever power goals that I have in mind, the stock heads should be completely capable. Like, I shouldn't need to obviously upgrade the heads to chase the power levels that I'm going to ultimately look for down the line. I'm not looking for an absolute 700 or 600 wheel monster. Like, that's not what I'm going for. In my application, I feel like the stock heads are perfectly suitable. I have heard where people will upgrade certain parts on their OEM heads, whether they add cams or whatever they decide to upgrade, but I just don't know if that's necessary in my situation. But I would love to hear what other people have done in the comments below. If you've built a car in the past, or if you have one right now, let me know, what is your car making for power and stock engine? Is it built? I definitely would be curious to see what people out there have. But anyway, so that's kind of where we stand with everything. I think I'm getting pretty close to the point of wanting to start purchasing some of these parts and just getting them on order, because the quicker I get them, then I can touch base with the shop and see kind of timelines for when they can get my engine pulled apart, get the heads off, and then get a better timeline for how long the machine shop will ultimately need. As far as when I hear back on stuff like that, I'll definitely make sure to pass it along and keep everybody in the loop with how everything is going. And yeah, I mean, I don't know how much else I have to add, but I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope that maybe having a little insight to just how expensive this stuff can really get. I know you hear so much on, whether it's Instagram or whatever, just about these crazy builds, and there's no doubt that there's a lot of crazy builds, but they spent a lot of money on those cars. And so $18,000 for built short block and stock heads, curious to see what people think, but yeah, that's basically where we're at. I'm going to continue to try and post more videos more frequently here. So if there's anything that you guys want to see in particular, definitely let me know. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it provided a little bit more insight to everything. And yeah, I guess we'll catch you in the next video. Take it easy.